was listening to your podcast with Joe Rogan, and you, I think verbatim said that your homosexuality was an elegant evolution, or elegant change within the evolutionary process, something along the lines of that. You even said, and cut me off if I'm wrong, verbatim, that if you could choose to, you wouldn't be homosexual. And part of me thinks that you could have this opportunity to essentially be the Hank Aaron of homosexuality for conservatives. And I think that in some way that stifles some young or any homosexual conservatives in expressing themselves in that way. Do you feel like you are essentially shitting on that opportunity, or do you feel like you're throwing it away? What's your opinion on that?
Well, I can speak in general terms about it. I'll tell you, by the way, that I've never encountered homophobia except from the progressive left when they find out I'm conservative. All of the places that you're supposed to get in the neck, people are sweet and kind and generous and wonderful, and Texas in particular. People are lovely. I was having difficulty right at the end of your question, but I think I can give you something that will interest you. When the left tells you people are born this way, that was an invention. We came up with that in the 90s and in the 80s to get at the religious right, who were saying, love the sinner but hate the sin. So the gay lobby were like, well, what if we're like women or blacks? What if we don't have a choice? That makes them bigots. So they came up with this born this way thing, which really has no basis in science at all. All the science suggests that it's a mixture of nature and nurture. My own attitude to this has always been, we are all messy, complicated people. And sometimes we're in pain, and sometimes we're confused, and sometimes we don't know what we want. The progressive left insists that we acknowledge their bizarre, complex ways of describing themselves, their genderqueer, polyamorous, whatever. But if you say you're a gay Catholic, or a gay conservative, suddenly their heads explode. I think if I were to take a straight pill, my career would be over. But I think I probably would, and I'll tell you why. And I've never really heard this from any other gay people, but it always seems very obvious to me. It's not about bigotry or homophobia. Because we could live in a perfect society, and in many ways we pretty much do, where people are not discriminated against the basis of their sexuality. But for me, and I'm sorry for some of the, there's going to be TMI for some of you. For me, not being able to create a child with a person you love, while you're loving them, always, that gets you, like, you notice that. It's like, okay. And at some point, when I'm tired of triggering special snowflakes on campuses, and... well, thank you. No, look, I do it for you. At some point, I'm going to get tired of that, and I might quite like a little Milo. And, under normal mechanics, that's not possible. And for that reason, I think I would take the pill, yeah. And I think it's I don't find that, the left, of course, if you have any even slightly nuanced position on your own identity, they will call you self-loathing. Well, I think it's fairly obvious I don't hate myself. I don't hate anything about myself, but that doesn't mean that if I didn't think about it carefully, I might not choose a different path. Unfortunately, I think at this stage I'm probably locked in. Thanks. I don't know if that completely answered your question, but thank you.